new team, Martin Tyler and Alan Smith.
Well, this is the first game of the season. They will want to get off on the right foot. They're starting off at the bottom. Let's see what they can do. Well, practice, surely.
What's up, FIFA faithful? Welcome to our coverage of the FVPAA League of Regions Championship. These games feature 11 players per side, but players can only play for the region in which they live. This year's finalists were New York and Midwest. So now let's go to the starting lineups, and first with New York, TG, who were you looking for to be an impact player in this game?
You know, Sean, I think War Machine is clearly New York's standout player. He's one of the best cams in the game. And, you know, they're playing a 3-5-2 formation with a player like War leading it. I think they're going to keep control of the ball really well in this match. And as far as Midwest goes, it's a 4-1-2-1-2. It's kind of a standard FIFA formation. If those outside wingers play narrow like it looks like in the graphic, it's going to be a very defensive game for Midwest, and I expect them to hit New York on the counter.
So with that said, let's go down to the field for the first leg of the FVPAA League of Regions Championship. Midwest in the blue kits, New York in the white and red. And we are underway. Depay switching the play. Careless turnover there. Pony. Good cut.
He was lacking options there. He needed his teammates to be a lot closer.
Iraq now. Boateng. And clear to the touchline by Sky Reloaded. Iraq finds Drax. War Machine.
Midwest having a little bit of trouble transitioning out of defense, especially with the narrow outside mids. It's a problem for the defense to actually find an attacking player.
Here's a chance now for New York. It's Rudy. To Drax. Boateng. Brilliant ball to Iraq. And Papa with a tremendous save. First blood goes to New York on that early chance.
And Papa made a very good prediction there. He guessed the near post, and it was the right guess.
Fantastic extra pass by Boateng. Now Midwest trying to counter. But again, the ball is cut out by New York. Early on, New York is really starting to cut out those counterattacks. Cavino now dribbling on the wing. And Pony
It was a brilliant pass. Unfortunately, he was slightly offside. You don't see it in the replay, but if that pass had connected, it was in a really dangerous area.
So TG, the keepers today here are Adler and Class Papa. I mean, do you see that as an advantage for either team right now? I mean, Adler has obviously a little bit more experience.
Adler is one of the most successful keepers in the league. He's won numerous titles on the teams that he's played with, always been a competitive player. Meanwhile, Class Papa is actually playing goalkeeper seriously for the first time in an actual, league competition. So, based on just the experience alone, you would have to say that, New York has the advantage in the goalkeeper department. But obviously, Class Papa is a very capable goalkeeper, and Midwest will be relying on him to make quite a few saves in this match. I can already predict that.
Cavino now. Tries to float the ball into the box, but Fabian reacts defensively. Oh! Unfortunate offsides there for Midwest. About a yard.
Yes, it was barely offside again. They're finding, counter-attacking opportunities on New York, especially with just the 3-back. There will be space back there, but they have to stay onside.
And for our viewers, this is a 2-leg championship. The first match taking place at New York. The second match will take place at Midwest Stadium. And if the match is tied after 2 legs, it will go to golden goal. There is no away goals rule. Wow. A little bit of agility there by Pony to even get that ball.
Pony has been playing very well in this game, and especially for makeshift cam, he actually plays center back professionally. For a makeshift cam, Pony is actually putting in quite a good show in the first 25 minutes here.
Yeah, we're talking about Class Papa playing goalkeeper for the first time in a major competition, and here Pony's doing much of the same. Midwest really starting an out-of-position lineup, shall we say.
Yeah, exactly. But, we said it was all New York in the first 10 minutes. In the last 20, Midwest has actually started to assert themselves in the game, and they're actually moving the ball quite well and look pretty dangerous.
Quick free kick there. Goon.
A little bit late on that pass. He might have wanted to play it sooner.
Drax. War Machine. Boateng now. Good clearance by you.
By me.
Pony.
Yeah. In the last 20 minutes, you have to say Midwest kind of found their groove a little bit, and they look much more comfortable on the ball now.
It's interesting how in this competition, a lot of these players, Drogba! A lot of these players really didn't have, I would think, a lot of experience playing with each other. I mean, this isn't, playing in your geographical location, there's no guarantee that these players have even ever played together before.
Exactly. And
so it's interesting to see them find themselves in this tournament, to see them kind of develop chemistry within the span of a few weeks.
Exactly, yeah. And it's actually more so an issue for Midwest because I don't think any of their players actually play together on the same club. Meanwhile, for New York, there are a couple here and there that have played for each other. But you're right, this tournament was only a few weeks. It was the last tournament that was hosted for FIFA 14, and players had to gel very quickly. And clearly, these two teams are both playing at a really high level, and it seems like they've been playing for quite a while.
Rudy just a bit offside there. And Midwest will get a set piece close to the end of the first half. Flick by Drogba. Oh! Drogba again with the ball in the box. TG.
It's a poor pass by me, I gotta say. I should have done a lot better there.
You just wonder when that first goal is going to come, because goals change games, and right now both teams, it seems, are a little bit tentative, trying to feel each other out.
Exactly.
But here's a chance. Oh, Class Papa reaching up and catching the cross in midair.
It's been a half of few chances, you would say. I mean, teams have been able to get into each other's boxes, but the number of shots that have been taken should be quite low at halftime.
Play the ball back to Papa. Just ran away from the ball. Interesting. Diggy do. Restriction. Cut out by Ant. And that'll take us to halftime. So at the end of the first half of leg one, the score is 0-0. New York and Midwest still tied. So TG, it seems as though New York is trying to move the ball on the ground while Midwest is trying to put it in the air, get it around the box and then put it in the air. What do you think is going to happen in the second half? Who do you think has the edge going into the second half with a relatively quiet first half?
It's difficult to predict. I mean, New York clearly, you're right. They're trying to keep the ball on the ground and try to move it. But I think, they found their passing lanes kind of cut out by Midwest. And on the flip side, Midwest has, instead of trying to keep it on the ground, you're right. They've been trying to play it in the air and kind of avoid the five midfielders by just playing it over their heads. So difficult to tell. I mean, as I said before, there were fewer chances than you would expect, but it's a final, and these kids are playing really seriously.
The second half's underway now. New York on the ball. And another turnover. Pony to TG.
Again, with the playing it in the air aspect, it's obvious what Midwest is trying to do here.
Well, and it's gonna be tough to gonna be tough to exploit that three back with Fabian, anchoring that defense. Oh, Boateng with a shot. Just a bit wide.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying with Fabian, they also have a couple of other very, very recognized center backs in their back three for New York, and definitely they're used to playing against teams that like to use that airball tactic, so it's not going to be anything new.
Boateng dribbling well. Great cross! Papa! Drax! Off the woodwork! Oh, and it's almost an own goal!
Incredible moments there. Class Papa, we said he was a new keeper, but he is pulling off a couple of really good saves that any keeper would be proud of.
And it's nice to have that little help off the woodwork, a little luck from the post as Papa comes out and claims the corner. But New York, the second narrow chance they've missed. Drogba now countering. Pony! What a playoff! And Adler again with the keepers now playing up to snuff.
Papa came up big on one end, and now Adler came up big on the other end. So it's clear that both of these keepers are literally at the top of their game right now.
And the mental fortitude to be able to read that pass coming and to not, not just dive, essentially.
Exactly. I mean, it's a 2-on-1 situation. It's a goalkeeper's worst nightmare to be faced with two attackers coming at you. And he predicted the pass brilliantly. He knew it was coming, and he made the exact play that he needed to make.
Boateng now. Pass a little bit too long. Pony. Cavino. Cuts inside. Finds Drogba. Crosses in. A block by Special Blend, the defender, and it looks as if there's a foul?
Yeah, I guess it's a foul. But
what a defensive block by Special Blend.
Yep.
Now this game has suddenly gotten a lot more open in the second half.
It's an incredibly lively start. It's only been 15 minutes in the second half, and already you've seen the ball in both boxes, people shooting, goalkeepers making saves. Much better than the first half, you would have to say, from a neutral's perspective.
The Hollywood ball finds Boateng. But Sky Reloaded playing fairly well.
Sky Reloaded is anticipating a lot of passes, and he's clearing the ball a lot. He's doing a very good job back there.
Looks as if there's going to be a giant throw coming on this throw-in from Fabian.
Yeah, Fabian has the giant throw trait. That's one of his hallmarks when he plays for Viva Football, a normal club.
Ball played back to Adler. And Midwest will get the throw-in.
Also a giant throw.
A lot of guys with muscles on this pitch.
Exactly right. And it's a good strategy, too. I mean, you get the ball really far off a throw.
Good ball by Cavino. Midwest still in the attack. Bird finds Pony, but Zeffy cuts it out. And you just wonder, is there a goal in this first leg?
I mean, from the evidence you've seen, oh, there might be a situation here, actually.
But again, the defense, it's bend but don't break so far.
Exactly. For both teams, their back lines have been playing extremely well, and obviously their goalkeepers have made a few saves as well.
Boateng, nice one-touch. Rudy. Just a bit too much weight. Good work there by Iraq. You know, he is one of the most probably underrated defensive midfielders in the game today.
Iraq is an extremely solid player. You rarely see him make mistakes. He doesn't overplay the ball, never plays too complicated, is a very solid player, and always makes the right play.
War Machine. Miscommunication there, obviously.
Yeah, clearly looking for the runner who didn't end up making the run.
Now Cavino. It's interesting we're seeing a lot of these long balls, these long lob through balls late, given that players must be starting to get a little bit fatigued.
Yeah, physically on the pitch, but also mentally on their controllers. You know, it's a very high-pressure situation, and playing a full game under these circumstances, you're kind of bound to try to play the long balls here and there.
Midwest maintaining possession. Careless turnover there by Cavino.
Speaking of mental fatigue, you know, that's just one of those things that maybe, you know, starting the match you wouldn't have made that.
You just get the feeling that to break this tie, it's going to take something a little bit special.
Yeah, especially with both defenses playing the way they are, it's going to take something quite special.
Here's a good chance to counter. And War Machine, again, the pass a little bit too weighted. But Papa to Boateng. And Iraq. Well, we talked about him not making too many turnovers, but there's one.
He's a defensive player, Sean, that's why.
We'll hope that was a ball into the box and not a shot. I don't think he's audacious enough to chip the keeper from 40 yards.
I'd be surprised.
Restriction now. Great shot! Oh, we have our first goal! Drogba, 15, with a tremendous one-time strike to put Midwest ahead late in the first leg.
Yeah, it's an incredible strike from 25, 30 yards, and I think looking back at the replay here, what catches the keeper off guard is that it's a first-time shot. I have a feeling that if Drogba had decided, you know what, I'm going to take one or two touches and then blast it, I think the keeper would have read it better, but an excellent first-time shot that had an element of surprise about it, and 1-0 Midwest.
And it'll be interesting to see how that changes the next leg and changes their mindset. Will Midwest, you know, continue to attack? Will they try to sit back and defend their lead?
Definitely from New York's perspective, 1-0 is a bad result, and I anticipate for them in the next leg, they're going to try to play even more offensive. They kind of have to elevate their game a little bit, though, because Midwest hasn't had too much trouble containing them in the first game.
Acrobatic clearance there by Vivakev. War Machine. Boateng.
War Machine now with a chance. It's Rudy. Papa makes the save, and there's an offside.
Unfortunately, it was right at the keeper, the shot. If it was either direction of the keeper, it would have been a lot more interesting, but right at the keeper is an easy save.
War Machine. Ant. Restriction clears. New York seems to be trying to push numbers late to try and get an equalizer so that they don't go into
need
this
it.
leg. Down one. And that's the end of the first leg. So Midwest takes a 1-0 lead into the second leg of this competition.
It's an excellent result for Midwest. They played really well throughout. You know, they started off kind of nervous, but they found their groove by the 20th minute, and you'd have to say on the balance of play, it's a deserved result.
So we'll go to the second leg. Will New York regret that shot off the post and those narrow misses early? Let's find out. This is the second leg of the FVPAA League of Regions Championship. 11 players from New York taking on 11 players from the Midwest region, and we are underway. Again, Midwest in blue and New York in the red and white. Drogba. Pony, but it's right at Adler.
Midwest starts strong. It's a very good start so far.
So, off the bat, we know they're not planning on sitting back and defending that narrow 1-0 lead. Boateng with a chance. Oh, again! Papa, well played to claim that because Boateng was a man on a mission.
Yeah, very good pressure by Boateng. He's a very skilled defender when he's in the attack.
There's a nice little bit of skill. Pony. Sloppy ball there.
I think the big question is, will Midwest continue their, confident run of play, or will they start getting nervous towards the middle of this and retreating into a shell? And, if they do end up doing that, it could become a tough, second part of the game for them.
Iraq clears. And New York will have a throw-in. Boateng. New York's had a lot of difficulty moving the ball through the midfield.
Yep. Even though they outnumber the Midwest, you're right. They've had a very difficult time. Here's another interception. I don't know. There's just maybe a lack of coordination in the way that they're passing the ball right now.
Well, and you begin to wonder how much chemistry takes effect. I mean, 3 of those players on New York, Iraq, War Machine, and Drax, all played together back in ACL 6 on Unleashed.
Exactly. And Boateng was also a member of Unleashed at one point.
That's right, because he was the one traded as Adler catches that ball.
Exactly. So there should be they should be playing slightly better than what they're showing right now. And if they want to advance or if they want to win this championship, they do have to elevate their game a little bit.
Shooter, nice win there.
Another Unleashed player, by the way.
It's very true. New York is an Unleashed team, I guess.
It seems that way. Unleashed, of course, being one of the most recognized and respected clubs in all of the league. So
and your club.
We do have a lot of good players.
And it would be your club and my former club.
Exactly. Everyone seems to have been on Unleashed at one point.
And now they'll claim that. So early on here, it's taken on the same kind of the same look as the first leg, the early on in the first leg, as both teams kind of not really getting any dangerous chances.
You see New York actually starting to resort to the long ball tactic themselves. Maybe it's a sign of desperation, or maybe it's just a conscious effort to change their style. Who knows?
New York with a good chance here on this corner kick. Kev! Tremendous header, but well saved by Papa. And that'll be caught by Papa. But having played keeper in ACL, the last ACL and AVL, those corner kicks are a nightmare at times.
Especially on this, I mean, it used to be easier on prior generations of the game, but exactly, in this FIFA, corner kicks are very powerful, and they're a great way to score goals.
Now New York on the counter. Boateng finds Drax. Again. War Machine. Boateng. Drax. Back to Boateng. Through. Good chance here for Shooter. But again, a fantastic save by Papa. He refuses to let New York equalize.
Yeah, Papa's doing an extremely good job. He guessed the exact right way on that shot. It could have gone near post, could have gone far post, but he read that like a book.
Corner by Drax. And Papa parries it to safety. Blend on the ball. Finds War Machine. Ball bundling around. Drax takes a shot, but it's blocked. And the ball
It's getting kind of hairy for Midwest right now. They find the ball, you know, they're defending a lot right now. Of course, they're sitting on a lead, but they're getting exposed to situations that are quite dangerous now.
Shooter. Yeah, it seems they're trying to stack that box with about 8 men.
Yeah, it's definitely a conscious effort to preserve the lead.
The floodgates have yet to open as we approach the end of the first half in the second leg of this competition. Dangerous ball there. Kev, well played to get it back to Adler.
I think the strategy from here is sit and counter and hope that you can sneak in a second.
Right, get that insurance goal.
Yeah. We'll see if it works, though. I mean, you'd have to say that in the last 20 minutes of this half, New York has generated quite a few situations that, you know, could have led to goals.
Kev clears. Drax on the ball. Sloppy pass, but War Machine collects. Shooter.
You know, Midwest is lining up so many men back that they're having trouble when they do get the ball to pass it out.
Not Cavino.
Just no options.
Right.
He needs players in front of him to get the ball out.
Well, and it seems with so many men back that New York is kind of getting more room to... Iraq! Just a bit wide, but New York is getting a little more room to move the ball around the midfield line.
Definitely. And as we said before, they already have the numerical advantage, so it's even easier now for them to control the game. I mean, the strategy may work, but, you know, if it fails and New York scores, then it's going to be a very interesting game.
And all of a sudden, New York gets the momentum if they score.
Exactly. Momentum is a huge, especially in a final where, you know, every action that you take is so important and the stakes are so high that momentum becomes a really big factor in these kind of games.
And that's the end of the first half of leg 2. So far, Midwest, the floodgates have not opened. They remain up 1-0 on aggregate. TG, if you're a player in that New York locker room, are you starting to feel the pressure? Are the nerves starting to get to you? You have 45 minutes left.
Oh, definitely. Coming into the game, I mean, if you compared the lineups to New York and Midwest, you would say that New York has a slight advantage with the players that they have. But I mean, what it boils down to is they have 45 minutes to score at least one goal to stay in this match and bring it to golden goal. They're probably going to try to throw the kitchen sink at this game and score a goal and hope that, you know, the back three doesn't get countered and the goalkeeper doesn't, you know, get scored on.
Will a player like Drax, like Boateng, like War find a goal to equalize this match? We'll find
New York has some huge offensive names on their roster, and they're going to need to play one of the best halves of their careers to get through this brick wall that's the Midwest.
Restriction. Good switch to TG. Fabian, so good in the air.
Yeah, Fabian's won a lot of those kind of lofted headers.
Here's E-Rock with the cross. Finds Zeffy, but his shot is blocked by you.
By me.
Cavino. And again, Midwest trying to do that Hollywood ball.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they just need to sit back and not get countered. Or not get, you know, exposed to situations where they're outnumbered.
Dangerous flick by Restriction there. Had an attacker been on that would have been tough to deal with.
Nervous moments there.
That's a good clearance, though.
It is a good clearance.
With, you know, several New York attackers pressuring.
Can't be onside, can he?
You wonder. There's the referee. The referee was waiting to see if he got the ball. It wasn't by much, though. Wasn't as much as it looked anyway. Here's a long ball, Drogba. Well, good seal out by Special Blend and good clearance. And Boateng clears. New York.
At this point, it's time to start moving everybody forward. There's only 30 minutes left in the game.
Drax. War. Drax. Back to War. War shoots it, it's a goal! We are equalized! It's 1-1. The War and Drax connection from the Unleashed days pays dividends.
It's very surprising how much space he was given Draxler when he received the ball. There was nobody around him really, and he just had a clean shot at goal.
And suddenly this game changes.
Yep. Now, what does Midwest do? Do they try to attack with more numbers? I mean, I guess you would figure that.
Pony. Oh, a dangerous ball across the face of goal. But again, no attackers there to drive it home.
Clearly, Midwest is trying to snatch this game back. They have a lot of men forward.
Now they send numbers, but it's you know, too little too late. Pandora's box is already open.
Yeah.
Shooter. Good ball to Boateng. Boateng! Oh, but another great save by Papa.
You know, Sean, I am so impressed by that pass. I mean, unfortunately, we don't see a replay of it, but Shooter held the ball up really well and made an excellent pass to Boateng there.
And, you know, we were talking about Unleashed a little bit earlier. It was that... Oh, and a goal! Off the corner kick! New York has snatched this final by the scruff of its neck.
Wow. In 10 minutes, New York scores 2 really good goals. We talked about the corner kicks being very overpowered in this FIFA. It goes to show you right there, but, I mean, the play leading up to it was exquisite, you'd have to say, and it's nothing more than New York deserve.
Seeds of delirium, the floodgates have opened, and all of a sudden, Midwest is clinging to life.
Yeah, they've been defending really well. You have to say Midwest defended well for a good portion of this match, but you can't play like that in an entire 90 minutes and expect to come away with, you know, a clean sheet.
And now, 20 minutes left. Can Midwest push numbers and equalize? You start to wonder, you know, how much momentum does New York have?
You're right.
They've got all of it.
They've got all of it right now. And as you see, again, the ball is in Midwest half, even though Midwest is the one that needs to score.
Unbelievable.
If I'm managing Midwest, I'm telling my fullbacks to start going up. I'm telling my DM and my 2 center backs to kind of stay deep. Defend with a 3 maybe, and push everybody else forward and try to generate width and forward passes.
Well, they'll need to get something going. You wonder if they're going to try to send this set piece into the box.
Oh, for sure. Knowing Midwest, it's going right into the box.
War Machine. Shooter, nice back heel to Drax.
Shooter's been playing extremely well in this second game.
I mean, he was almost... You didn't see him much in the first game. He was almost a non-factor in that first leg, but in the second leg, he's really come to life.
Yep, you're exactly right. I mean, and so has the entire New York offense, for that matter.
Cavino now, trying to equalize. Oh, what a header and what a save by Adler!
That might be the best save of the entire series so far. That was an incredible save from point blank range.
Both keepers have played fairly well, but that was next level stuff. New York still in possession in Midwest half.
Yeah, you don't see this game going to a golden goal.
War Machine! Papa! Is that a double save? And Shooter shot blocked. The bundles are real.
Incredible stuff right now.
New York is pushing so hard to get that insurance goal and lock up this championship.
Yeah, I mean, Midwest, they need to step it up. It's only 5 more minutes in this game. Somehow they need to generate a chance. I don't know if it's going to come, but...
And a great decision by Papa to come out and at least get a hand to that ball.
Yeah, Papa has played a really good series as well.
It'll be a shame if he has nothing to show for it. Goon. Only 4 minutes left now. Can Midwest get something going? Diggy-do. Restriction. Ball runs to Pony. And that'll be a corner kick. So we saw New York take advantage of a corner. Midwest pushing numbers forward. Can they do the same? Plays to Drogba. Fabian again winning a header in the box. Bird. Blocked. TG. Cut out by Drax. New York looks like it might be locked up. Midwest with one last attack. Pony to Drogba. The shot by Cavino saved by Adler. They'll get one more corner. You gotta imagine they're sending every man forward they can.
Yeah. It's do or die right now. Literally one of the last plays of the game.
They're sending Papa. The header by Pony. Saved by Adler. Oh, it's in! Did Papa score? Are you kidding me? The header by Pony. And Papa got a foot to it.
Incredible stuff. You know, in playing FIFA for 3 years, I have never, ever seen a situation where the opposite goalkeeper scores off a corner in the 90th minute.
Of a championship! In the 90th minute. We need a golden goal now, because in the 90th minute of the championship, the keeper taps the ball into the net. Class Papa, he kept his team ahead for so long, just kept his team alive.
It might be the best play that, you know, I've ever seen. Simple as that. You never see that in 11v11 pro clubs. And Papa, definitely the biggest play of his career. Probably the biggest play in FVPAA history, to be honest with you.
Sensational scenes from the League of Regions Championship. And now, take us through, as a player on both sides, what are your what are the thought process? This second leg was a roller coaster of emotion.
I mean, at this point, New York has to be kind of shell-shocked. They controlled game 2 almost from start to finish, and to concede a goal like that, an incredible goal, you've got to be kind of wondering, what do I have to do to get rid of these Midwesterners?
Cavino! And that'll be a goal kick, as it sails wide. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll be seeing that goal again for a long, long time.
It might find itself on the VPN report.
Probably.
Shooter now. Drax. It'll run to Cavino, who finds Pony. Midwest still in possession. Drogba. I was wondering, can Cavino get there? He does, but then his touch runs out.
You know, if Midwest is going to have a chance in this, they kind of have to alter their play a little bit and be a little bit more attack-minded. Because you saw what happened when they played, you know, full-throttle defense. They did concede 2 goals, so for them to have a better chance now, they're going to have to start committing players forward, kind of like how they did in Game 1, where they were attacking New York almost start to finish.
Well, so far, what now? 2 of the goals have come from corner kicks, from set pieces.
That is true, and, you know, it's, you know, they're not the most, you know, good-looking ways to score a goal, but they're a reflection that you're getting a lot of chances, and, you know, sometime it's bound to happen, you know?
Nice flick by Drogba. What a ball by restriction. Cavino. Oh, but Pony can't direct it back. You wonder, Cavino might have done well to just take that shot.
I think he actually did press the button from the way that his pro kind of staggered at it. I think he did try to shoot, and his pro just kind of whiffed it. But, obviously without a replay, you can't tell.
Well, Midwest with another dangerous corner. They scored on the last one. Drogba. Fabian again. Great in the air. Restriction shot saved by Adler.
Incredible save. Incredible save.
You can't fault him for that second goal that was scored. He made the initial save.
No, there was nothing Adler could have done. That is a 1 in a million play that happened to him to concede that goal.
Adler! Well, that was dangerous, certainly.
Oh, for sure.
Now New York on the counter. War Machine running into space. Finds Zeffy. Iraq to Drax. But he can't quite get the scoop turn off.
Definitely an N10 game now. I think Midwest is finally like, you know what? We have to actually score a goal now. Let's try to do it. And, they're like a different team right now.
Careless turnover. Drax finds War. What a save again by Papa. The goalkeepers in this game have played phenomenally.
Yeah. Both goalkeepers are excellent predictors of the shot. They know exactly where the ball is being directed before it's even shot. That's how good they are.
And a goal here means delirium for one side and agony for the other. To come so far in a championship match. Draxler. No call by the referee. And I don't think there was anything in that.
No, for sure not.
But you never know with some of these referees. Can be a little bit quick on the whistle. Drax finds War. Viva Kev, fresh off his title win with Viva Football, the newest ACL champions.
Yep, Viva played an extremely good season in the last American Clubs League, and from start to finish, there was no doubting that they were going to pull that win off.
Several players from that final find themselves in today's League of Regions Championship. Boateng X played for FVPAA, Adler played for FVPAA, and of course Viva Kev and Do It Like Fabian both played for Viva Football. Great reaction save to get down to that one.
Surely there can't be another goal from a corner kick, could there?
Normally I'd say no, but after seeing two so far. Draxler. Tries for the rainbow. That's cheeky.
He had literally 4 players on him. Honestly, the speed of thought to even think to make a skill move like that just shows how quality of a player he is. Because if that move works, he goes past 4 people.
Great cross by Iraq and great flick by Drax, but no one is on the end of it. Iraq now. Can't get the ball to Drax. It seems like the momentum for both sides is kind of even at this point. Both sides getting a few chances here or there.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier, it's actually quite hard to predict which way this is going to go. And it's just a reflection that both teams have been playing extremely well in this game. I mean, in Game 1, it was basically all Midwest. In Game 2, it was New York. And now, with everything on the line, both teams are really showing up to this final and giving us a great show.
Well, and you wonder if one player is going to come alive right now. You wonder, I mean, you saw in Game 2, Shooter go from being... Oh, what a shot by Cavino and a save by Adler.
What does it take to beat Adler? That is a point-blank save, and he guesses the right way and makes an incredible save.
I mean, the shot power on that hit was tremendous.
99% of the keepers in the league, that shot goes in. But Adler is literally showing that he is one of the best keepers in this league.
And coming off a fine run of form, I mean, he was in the ACL championship for Season 7.
That is true. That is true. He's, for the better part of 2-3 months now, he has been literally top 3 keeper in the league. You couldn't argue that.
No argument here. Oh, Drax is onside. What a layoff to himself. And for our casual viewers, each team has one any position. So when a player lags out of the game, the any position will take both their original pro and that pro, as if they're playing, as you play in head-to-head.
Exactly, and lagouts in these leagues are a factor. I mean, there are certain rules that allow you to back out of a match completely if you have too many lagouts, but when it's just one, you need to have a good any who can control 2 players.
Drogba now, 2-on-2. Great hit, but Adler parries it away. Midwest getting a few chances in the last few minutes before the end of the half. Will there be the golden goal from a corner kick? Ball floats into the box. Boateng clearing. And that's the end of the first half. Well, all we need is a golden goal to determine the winner of the League of Regions Championship. But so far, we're still level. Neither team can find that game winner.
It's almost like game 1, where it was in the first half there were a lot of chances back and forth, but there was no goal to show for it. But speaking from the experience of playing in this game, I can't tell you enough how tense and how much pressure there is in this situation. And it's going to take either a mistake or something special to get through, you feel, because both teams are really showing up for this final.
And it seems like both keepers are playing very, very well, but you wonder if there is just going to be one extra pass, one great shot that can decide this final.
I mean, from the way that these keepers have been playing, it's going to take something really special to beat them, and maybe it's going to be the extra pass, or maybe it's going to be some kind of bundle, but it's not going to be, I can tell you now, it's not going to be something, run-of-the-mill.
War Machine just a bit offsides there, but New York pushing numbers in the midfield. There wasn't much in that.
No, and if that had gone through, anything could have happened there.
Dangerous ball. Cavino gets the bundle. Pony crosses. Kev heads to relative safety. Restriction now. Touch is a bit too heavy. Ant. Erock, nice flick. Boateng, Drax. Just a bit too long for Shooter.
For the most part, Midwest has been good at reading those ground passes, trying to split the defense. They've been handling that pretty well.
And this will be a corner kick for New York.
New York has 3 center backs who play quite tall, so this should be a good chance here.
Lofted ball by War Machine, but no one's on the end of it. Playing a little bit of volleyball. Adler coming out of his net. This is dangerous. Adler's still out. He's a madman.
An incredible slide tackle to retrieve possession. You rarely see that too. This game is, or this series is just incredible to watch.
Well, and we've seen that happen sometimes where keepers will come out to play a ball and make, a mental, whether it's a mental mistake or whether, it's the auto positioning. they'll come out of their box and all of a sudden they find themselves in no man's land, you know, one-on-one with an attacker.
Exactly.
But to commit to that and then to make that slide tackle and just trying to get, maybe he was trying to clear the ball, but to try and get that ball out of his area. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
Great save.
It is hard to tell whether he meant it or not, but either way, there was only one play that could have gotten him out of that situation, and that was the slide tackle, and he made it, so he can take a sigh of relief.
We've seen some mind-boggling things by keepers on both ends today.
Yeah.
Pony.
You know, thinking back on it, this is probably, just watching this series, this is probably the best display from two keepers on both sides that I've seen in a really, really long time.
So, TG, how does the rain affect this game?
Well, whenever it rains in FIFA, the ball kind of becomes a little bit more slippery, so players' touches are worse, and especially if they're trying to use the right trigger to sprint, their touches can be literally all over the place. So, in a sense, it kind of makes the ground passing game of New York a little bit harder to pull off than normal, and maybe that's why, you know, they haven't achieved, you know, the level of domination that you might have expected from them leading up into the game.
Pony. Ball cleared by Ant. Careless turnover there by War Machine. Drogba now. The shot's blocked by Fabian. Oh my goodness! I don't think that was going in, but still a dangerous ball.
And there was no way Fabian could have known that. So, I mean, it was a good clearance either way. And I guess they're kind of lucky in New York that it wasn't the opposite side of the post.
As a defender, your heart's racing when you see that ball rolling towards that net. What a Pony! The in and out, but he can't. And Adler with a double save. He tried an in and out and couldn't direct it far enough to the near post.
That was it. I think that's the best chance Midwest can possibly get from that kind of play. Like, it was one-on-one with the keeper, and just unfortunately he couldn't put it away.
They're not going to get a better chance. There is no better chance than that.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, you'd probably favor the attacker maybe 75%, you know, to score, depending on some strikers more. On
the flip side, what a play by Adler. I mean, it helped that the shot wasn't too difficult, but still to be able to maintain your positioning right there is
Yep. And Adler has shown that he has the predictive ability to save shots from point blank range. It doesn't even matter. Again, another one.
There again.
He just knows where the ball is going, and he just predicts that it's going to go to that side, and you know, it works out for him.
Diggy do. Has the ball in the wing. Ant plays it up. Several careless turnovers right now.
I think you see Midwest really pushing for this right now. It's been all Midwest for about 15 minutes. And maybe New York hits them on the counter. Who knows?
Well, that's one of the unfortunate things, though, through this final. We've seen a lot of balls, especially by New York, that have waited just a bit too much, that are just a bit too long.
That's another issue with the rain. The passes become a little bit more erratic, too.
Drogba now. The ball's dangerous. Pony again! It's just over the bar.
Yeah. You might be able to fault Pony for the first one-on-one, but this one is a little bit harder. I mean, he could have kept it on target, but just judging by the way Adler's guy was positioned, it probably wouldn't have gone in.
Boateng now. Can't float the ball above TG. Iraq. Boateng. This time goes for the shot. It goes back to him. Boateng! It's over! Wow. Boateng hits the golden goal off the rebound. Well, unfortunate for Midwest, unfortunate for Papa, but Boateng has won this final for New York.
Yep, and you said it would either be a mistake or something special, and I mean, it's kind of a combination of both.
So there you have it. New York wins the League of Regions Championship with a golden goal over Midwest by Boateng X. From all of us on the VPN, this is Sean Fitzgerald with TG saying thanks for watching and see you next FIFA.